After just 3 races into the 2026 Formula One season, the FIA has done something it has almost never done mid-season. It has rewritten the rulebook. On April 20th, 2026, the FIA convened an online meeting with all team principals, power unit CEOs, and Formula One management. The result: a unanimous agreement on multiple regulation changes that will come into force at the Miami Grand Prix on May 3rd. This is not speculation. This is not paddock rumor. The FIA issued an official statement confirming every single one of these changes. These are binding regulatory adjustments, voted on and approved by every stakeholder in the sport. To understand why the FIA moved this quickly, you need to go back to Suzuka. In the Japanese Grand Prix, just the third race of the 2026 season, Haas driver Oliver Bearman was involved in a serious accident that immediately put the new energy regulations under the microscope. The core problem? The 2026 cars operate on a complex system where some cars deploy electrical energy on straights while others simultaneously harvest it. That creates massive, unpredictable closing speed differentials between cars, and Bearman's crash was a direct consequence. According to the FIA's official post-incident statement, the increased closing speeds of the 2026 cars, which see some cars deploying energy while others are harvesting, was a contributing factor in the accident. The FIA president confirmed that the drivers themselves were central to identifying these issues. Speaking after a productive Friday session, he stated, "The drivers have provided invaluable input on adjustments which they feel should be made, particularly in terms of safety and driving dynamics." Meanwhile, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff had already framed the scope of needed changes correctly before the vote. No drastic intervention was needed, but targeted, surgical changes are necessary. And that is exactly what the FIA delivered. Let's start with qualifying, because this is where the changes are most immediately felt by drivers. The first and most significant adjustment targets something called superclipping, the system that determines how much energy a car can recover while still at full throttle. Previously, superclip power was capped at 250 kilowatts. From Miami onwards, that ceiling has been raised to the maximum permissible level of 350 kilowatts. According to Formula1.com's technical analysis, this means drivers can recover significantly more energy without being forced to lift off the throttle, producing a far more natural speed profile down straights. Simultaneously, the FIA has reduced the maximum permitted recharge per qualifying lap from 8 megajoules to 7 megajoules. Formula1.com confirmed this change targets a maximum superclip duration of approximately 2 to 4 seconds per lap, down from durations that were making cars visibly slow mid-straight. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella had flagged this exact issue during preseason testing in Bahrain. As Motorsport.com reported, Stella had already advocated for increased superclip power months before the season began. The data from 3 races confirmed his concerns were valid. Also noteworthy, the FIA has increased the number of circuits where alternative lower energy limits may apply from 8 to 12 races, giving teams and engineers far greater flexibility to adapt to circuit-specific characteristics across the calendar. The qualifying changes address lap time. The race condition changes address something far more critical: safety and consistency of on-track performance. From Miami onwards, the maximum power available through the boost system in race conditions is capped at plus 150 kilowatts, or the car's current power level at activation, if that figure is higher. The FIA's official statement confirmed this is specifically designed to limit sudden performance differentials between cars entering and exiting corners at different points in their energy cycle. The MGUK deployment rules have also been restructured in a smart, targeted way. In key acceleration zones, from corner exit to braking point, and through all designated overtaking zones, MGUK deployment remains at the full 350 kilowatts, but in other, lower-risk sections of the lap, deployment is now limited to 250 kilowatts. According to Formula1.com, these measures are designed to reduce excessive closing speeds while maintaining overtaking opportunities. This is a nuanced approach. The FIA isn't gutting the spectacle of the 2026 Power Unit formula. They're trimming the dangerous edges. Overtaking zones retain their full electrical punch. The aggressive closing speeds in non-overtaking sections are what gets reined in. The balance is deliberate. Race starts in 2026 have produced nervous moments. Cars with abnormally low acceleration off the line, creating dangerous situations for following drivers. The FIA's response is a brand new automated safety mechanism that will be tested at Miami before full adoption. The system works in 3 stages. First, a low-power start detection algorithm monitors each car's acceleration profile immediately after clutch release. According to Formula1.com, if a car is identified as having abnormally low acceleration, the system automatically triggers an MGUK deployment to bring the car up to a minimum safe acceleration threshold without conferring any sporting advantage. Second, the FIA is introducing a visual warning system, flashing lights on both the rear and lateral panels of any affected car. This gives following drivers a clear, immediate visual cue to react before closing speeds become dangerous. Third, a reset of the energy counter at the start of the formation lap has been implemented. Formula1.com confirmed this corrects a previously identified system inconsistency that was creating unpredictable energy states before the race even began. These changes will be tested in Miami, with formal adoption confirmed after feedback and analysis from that weekend. A sensible, data-first approach. The final category of changes targets wet weather running, an area where driver feedback was particularly strong, and the 2026 regulations had created compounding problems with both grip and visibility. The FIA confirmed that intermediate tire blanket temperatures have been raised in direct response to driver feedback. Formula1.com's analysis stated this change aims to improve initial grip and tire performance in wet conditions, meaning drivers no longer have to nurse cold intermediates through the dangerous early phase of a wet-to-dry or dry-to-wet transition. On the performance side, maximum ERS deployment will be reduced in wet conditions. The purpose is straightforward. Lower torque output in low-grip situations means greater car stability and control when mechanical grip is already compromised. Perhaps the most visually impactful change for viewers watching at home, the FIA has simplified the rear light systems with the official goal of providing clearer and more consistent visual cues to improve visibility and reaction time for following drivers in poor conditions. FIA. Official statement, the 20th of April, 2026. A small change on paper, but potentially enormous in terms of avoiding incidents in spray-affected conditions. So let's bring this together. In the space of 3 races and 5 weeks, Formula One's governing body has executed a rapid but measured regulatory intervention, backed by unanimous stakeholder agreement, driver data, and documented safety evidence. The qualifying changes give drivers a more natural, predictable energy experience on hot laps. The race condition changes target the dangerous closing speed differentials that contributed to Bearman's Suzuka crash. The race start system adds an automated safety net with flashing warnings, and the wet weather package addresses driver feedback on tire prep and ERS torque control. What the FIA has not done is overhaul the fundamental identity of the 2026 formula, the hybrid power architecture, the active aerodynamics, the radical new car concepts. Those remain intact. These are refinements, not a revolution. The Miami Grand Prix on May 3rd will be the first real-world test of these changes under race conditions. Every lap at Hard Rock Stadium will now carry the weight of data that will determine whether the 2026 season has found its footing or whether further adjustments lie ahead.